Let's talk about pool conditioner, cyanuric acid, and stabilizer. What are these products and how do they relate to your pool care? Well, actually, these things are one and the same. We bring it up, we mention them by their various names because this tends to lead to confusion. Everyone calls it something different, and that can make your chemistry seem more complicated than it really is. Really, your pool chemistry is confusing enough without confusing these for 3 separate products. So why does conditioner matter? And how does it fit into your pool chemistry picture? Well, let's illustrate with some data points. We'll start with CYA, or conditioner, and we'll say that this is measured in parts per million. Then we'll have active chlorine. And then we'll show chlorine life. So at a conditioner level of 0, we get 50% active chlorine. At a conditioner level of 30 to 50, you get 3 to 2% active chlorine. And at conditioner levels of 100 to 200, you have active chlorine of about 0.5 to 0.1%. So at first blush, it seems like the best thing you can do, so you can have a lot of active chlorine, is have no conditioner in the pool. Why are we even adding this stuff? What's the point? Well, now we get into chlorine life. Because chlorine, when the water is not conditioned, is very vulnerable to sunlight. And so if you have no conditioner, your chlorine life is measured in hours. Now at 30 to 50 parts per million, your chlorine life is measured in days. And at 100 to 200 parts per million, it's measured in weeks. So hopefully that paints a pretty good picture. Now the reason we don't go for really high conditioner levels, in part, even though we have weeks of chlorine life, is because it's so inactive at this state. You're becoming vulnerable to issues. Actually, 3 to 2% active chlorine is very good. You can do a lot of sanitizing with that much chlorine. Now, additionally, high cyanuric acid will affect your alkalinity levels. It will artificially inflate them. And it's going to inflate them in such a way that it doesn't buffer the movement of your pH. We have a video about why buffering the pH is so important. You have this situation where the alkalinity looks good, but it's not buffering your pH. But if you let it get too high, you get all the negative effects of high alkalinity. On top of that, high conditioner levels will start gumming up your chlorinator, areas where there's a high concentration of it. And so the pipes of your chlorinator, the check valves, they are going to get less and less flow, and low flow situations are problematic for your pool. And now, so we're looking at this and you're saying, well, I can understand how our pool level could get to 30 or 50 parts per million conditioner, right? That's a deliberate action on our part. Why would it ever get this high? Is someone messing up? Are they not doing their job? Am I getting sabotaged? What's happening? Well, it comes in with your chlorine tabs. Chlorine tabs come in dichlor, trichlor traditionally, and sometimes they're referred to as stabilized tabs. Stabilizer, cyanuric acid, conditioner, the same thing. So if you're using only tabs, you might be adding as much as 10 to 15 parts per million of conditioner into your pool every month using them. And so you could see how you could quickly end up in this high conditioner area. So maybe the answer is, well, I'll stop using tabs, right? Well, that depends on how frequently you want to treat the pool. Unstabilized chlorine will give you a day or two boost in your chlorine levels, but if you have a once-a-week service or you just can't give your pool that much attention, that's a non-starter. You're not going to want to do that. You'll be vulnerable to issues for most of the week. So unless you're treating the pool every day or two, or if you have a liquid chlorine feeder that squirts in chlorine throughout the day to keep your sanitizing potential up, this just doesn't work. You will have problems if you don't use stabilized tabs. Now, a solution we like to employ that we found is pretty good is a combo approach. So for a weekly service, we'll give the pool a boost of chlorine using an unstabilized shock, and then use just enough tabs to ride out the chlorine level throughout the week. And if we had to draw a graph, it would look something like this, right? Every time we service the pool, every time we come to service, we boost the chlorine up, and then we ride it down. Then we boost the chlorine up, and we ride it down. And we're aiming for maybe 3 parts per million when we come back. If we were just to use unstabilized chlorine, our graph might look something like this. This is probably an exaggeration, where you got a spike of chlorine, and then you have all this downtime where you have very little or no chlorine at all. This is problematic because if anything happens, you get a heavy rain, you throw a pool party, some birds take a swim in your pool, you're going to have issues because you had no available chlorine. So that's a solution that we like. Boost it, ride it out. You won't drive your conditioner levels so high so quick, and you kind of get the best of both worlds. Here's a warning though. Even if you're taking measures to manage your conditioner levels, maybe you're not using tabs at all, or you're doing the combo method or something else, you want to keep tabs on this level. It moves pretty slowly, so it gets missed and it gets neglected. But if you don't keep an eye on it, problems will creep up on you, and suddenly you'll be in a position. Even if you're putting no additional cyanuric acid in the pool, you might have the opposite issue, where you splash out, maybe an undiagnosed leak is diluting your water, and pretty soon you find yourself with a mysterious pool problem because your chlorine is measured in hours, not days. So hopefully that clears a few things up for you related to your pool chemistry. Give us a like if you found the information helpful, and keep an eye out. We are going to be putting out more informative videos just like this.